Originally, I planned to do something more on Rabbit, and we will get to that. However, I do think Tao needs to be called out. So, house cleaning, please give Examining Kubrick a chance. Please consider supporting the channel through whatever means. All right, let us get into it. What is the issue with Tao? Well, so many issues. The most basic BOMB that happened is that he was caught live admitting that to him he's trying to be a reality star, basically micromanaging the other squirrels. If you're totally new to this situation, the squirrels are basically the moniker a lot of quote protesters, although I have questions of even calling them protesters, who heeded the call of LA streets and Mr. Aaron and have been causing a lot of mischief. Some mischief good against the church, but a lot of mischief bad or just basically a marketing scheme. And Tao made the mistake of just being a little too honest about his marketing plans because before all this, he was just huckstering a bunch of expensive beauty products. And he's given an update on his channel saying he's going to go back to that. And that, don't worry, guys, he's working on himself because the person who matters here is Tao Hyun. My basic impression of the Squirrel Nation is, unfortunately, like SPTV Nation, is they're in it mainly for themselves and their own weirdo psychodrama. A few of them are dedicated protesters. They seem to know a few things, and I think they're being sincere, like Mindy, but the vast majority of them really don't know anything about Scientology. Get a bullhorn, just repeat the phrases of Serge, Nora, or Aaron, and repeat, rinse, cycle. And, some of them have got a big following and have done some interesting protests, but for the most part, like Tao, they just turn on the camera, babble, 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 whine about life in LA, babble, 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 end the video. He does have a good side. I do think in the video that exposed him, he did seem to show a lot of real concern for Danny and other protesters and felt that they were actually being manipulated by their audiences, which again is a legitimate argument. However, it was mainly about himself. So he is a very hardcore narcissist, and really these protests are just about him and promoting himself. He's just mouthing a few phrases. Does he really care about these victims? No. He's just there posing for the camera. However, I want to be fair. Apparently, the protesters are making a few things up about him and just lying about him. And that, I think, is also bad. Why they're lying about him? Is it just blowback from him manipulating them? I don't know. But it was really bad. Apparently, in one case, it was clearly a blatant lie. They were saying something, but Aaron was there in Tao's chat, so he knew for a fact they were lying about him. So it's just becoming a very weird, toxic atmosphere. So I don't quite know how to phrase or picture what they're up to now, because it just seems a lot of Hollywood nonsense where they are just in it for the money and they become kind of a full blown echo chamber. I just went to that list that Fluffer made about the protesters and YouTubers you should support. And, listen, it is what it is. They're not going to put me on the list. Fine, whatever. But they were missing a lot of people. And again, I have criticisms of all these people: Mitch Brisker, Tony Ortega, Chris Shelton. If that's not your cup of tea, fine. But to say they've done nothing against the church, that is insane. And they were not on the list. You know who else was missing from the list? Doug Scott Kramer. Literally the OG gold standard of protesting. Not on the list. But again, that was Onora's channel. But I was nice. I double checked another channel. Still the same thing. But you know what that channel did? It had a whole lot of pictures of the protesters. And you know what they were doing? Marketing, I'm not joking, the SPTV merchandise, saying, hey, look at this protester. They're looking good in a hoodie. Look at that protester. They're looking good in a hoodie too. Look at that protester. They're also looking good in a hoodie. Oh, where's all this money going? It's going to me. Don't you see? Me making money from the merchandise? That really hurts David Miscavige. Alrighty then. So I think it's safe to say that Tao has semi-retired. He's destroyed a ton, and I do mean almost everything of his former life. Community posts, all that alleged caring about the children and the victims, that's all gone, including one post, which I remember for a fact, where Serge was defending him after he had been exposed. That's gone. All the lives where he was yelling and screaming, those are gone too. So now he's just going to pivot back to being selling beauty products. And let's be concerned with Tao. Guys, there was just so much negativity and toxicity. I agree. There was some lying about him. They were misrepresenting him in a few cases. But this guy is not this guardian angel who had a momentary lapse. No, he is what it is. He was a grifter. He got caught. And now he's creating this PR offensive. That's what the squirrels and SPTV have come down to, selling hoodies and hanging out with the cops. You know those cops? Allegedly have murdered people, but in reality, we know they have murdered people. Nothing has happened for those cases. That's where they are now, hanging out with and selling off hoodies.